Hi, and welcome to the introduction about how to create a pitch deck. There are many ways how you can do that, but what every pitch deck has in common is that they describe a problem and the solution you offer for it. And the bigger the problem and the better the solution, the more relevance you can have for investors or partners or stakeholders. So let's talk, for example, how Airbnb created their first pitch deck and how they came up with the idea. They used to live in San Francisco in a very small apartment, but still couldn't pay the rent. So they wanted to rent out one room. So what made Airbnb so successful is that they created a solution for a problem that many people have. So the bigger the problem and the better the solution, the more relevance you have. And that's the essence of a pitch deck. And it's the art to describe it as simple as possible. Like Airbnb stated on the first page of their pitch deck, book with locals instead of hotels. Everybody understands this. And I said, travel cheaper, earn money as a host. Very simple, everybody understands. And that's the power of a pitch deck. A very powerful message in simple words. So when you know what the problem is you want to solve and how you want to solve it, and when you can describe it in very strong, powerful, but easy to understand words, then it's time to talk about the market size. And when you talk about the market size, you first want to describe how big is that market? How many people are there that are willing potentially use your service or product? And then you talk about the second step. How many of those people do you think you can reach? For example, if you're a local bakery in New York, then you cannot reach everybody all over the world, usually. And the third step is, out of all those people you can reach, how many will you really service? So when you know how big the market size is, then it's time to talk about your business model. How do you earn money? Is it on commission base, or is it fixed price, or do you have other revenue streams? Explain to investors and stakeholders what is your business model, how do you make money? To know how to make money is one thing, but what the readers of your pitch deck also want to know is how the company structure look like. What kind of entity are you? Who are the shareholders? Are there stakeholders? Who has what responsibility and who does what? And why? And what kind of competences do they have? When it's clear what kind of company you are, then it's time to talk about the market. Who are your competitors? Why are they so good? How long do they exist? What kind of revenue do they make? And you can talk about your own strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. Explain the reader what you're good at, what you still have to learn, and be honest about the threats. No company is perfect, also not your future company. And people who read the pitch deck, they really like honesty. At this point, it's clear what the problem is that you want to solve and how you want to solve it, with what kind of company and how you earn money. But now it's time to talk about your go-to-market strategy. What are the steps you're going to take in the future to enter the market, to gain more customers? This is not only marketing. And if you would say to an investor like, I only want to advertise and give me some money to advertise, there are not so many investors who are likely to do that. A go-to-market strategy are the steps you take to enter the market. And after you talk about the steps how you enter the market, and of course marketing can be a part of it, then it's time to talk about your forecast. And the forecast includes all the cost, the revenue, the profit, the unforeseen cost for 1, 2 or 3 years. Now, as most entrepreneurs are quite optimistic when it comes to a forecast, investors know this. So it would be very wise to have a worst case scenario forecast and a good case scenario forecast. Even for the good case scenario, don't be too optimistic. To create a company, to make profit, it takes time. Investors know this. Just be realistic and be honest to yourself. Ask for feedback of other companies or other people. The next topic is maybe the most important topic of the whole pitch deck. That's because it's about you, the founder or founders. Investors want to know everything about the founder or founders. What's their background? What are their skills? What are their hobbies? And who are the rest of the team members or advisors? Maybe you have an advisory board. This slide is so important because the business plan and how you make money can change over time. But usually the founders, you cannot change that easy. So the last step is to do a proposal to the reader. Probably you need money, or maybe you need expertise, or maybe you need a network. And what do you give in exchange? Shares, or do you want to have a loan, or what is what you want and what do you give back? And what did you put in already? Did you put in money or only time? And if only time, did you have money to put in? Because investors really like that the entrepreneur goes skin in the game, which means that give it all you have. Because if you don't believe in the idea, why would the investor believe in the idea? So when you have written down all this information, it's time to design. But keep the design very simple. Make sure a simple layout, easy to read. Also make sure that you don't give too much information. Your business is your passion, but investors don't want to know every detail. They say a book is sold by its cover, but a pitch deck by its inspiration. And inspiration seldom comes from details. Be you, be inspiring, and keep on learning.